Welcome to Fox 7 Austin's special You Decide coverage for Election Day. I'm Good Day Austin anchor Dave Froehlich.
And I'm Good Day Austin anchor Katie Jackson. We're going to give you a brief look at some of the big races on the ballot this year.
Yeah, we'll start off in Travis County, where Austin's controversial Proposition Q is believed to have helped fuel some strong early voting turnout.
Yeah, Prop Q proposes an increase of 5 cents per $100 of taxable property value. So this could add $300 a year to the average Austin homeowner's tax bill. The money generated from the property tax increase would help the city of Austin with a variety of different programs and services after the city recently passed a budget with a more than $30 million deficit.
The Prop Q money would go toward things like expanding programs to help increase housing affordability and reduce homelessness, improve public safety, expand public health services, and enhance programs that respond to the challenges of climate change.
Proponents say that Prop Q will protect vital services, while opponents say that the tax increase will hurt seniors and people with different abilities and young families with children. Meantime, in Kyle, 4 people are running to be the next mayor there. It comes after the city's longest-serving mayor, Travis Mitchell, stepped down after serving 3 terms and almost a decade. So whoever wins will need to address several challenges, including persistent drought and rapid population growth.
Pflugerville also looking for its next mayor. Current Mayor Victor Gonzalez is term limited after serving 3 terms. 4 candidates are running to replace him.
Hays County CISD has Prop A on the ballot. If approved, Prop A would generate about $26 million from a 12-cent maintenance and operations tax rate increase. The district says the money is needed because basic student allotment funding has not kept pace with inflation since 2019.
Similar proposals on the ballot in Liberty Hill. Liberty Hill ISD's Prop A would generate about $10 million. The bulk of the money would go towards staffing and restoring student programs. Additional funds would go towards security and staff retention stipends and raises.
And Manor ISD has a nearly $400 million bond election on the ballot. There are 3 propositions. Prop A is the largest. If the more than $359 million Prop A is approved, the money would go to things like campus safety, facility upgrades, and renovations at 8 schools. The $8.5 million Prop B would go toward new technology devices for students and staff. Then the $16.5 million Prop C would go to performing arts additions at Manor High School.
The 2 propositions of Taylor ISD. Prop A, if approved, would see $147 million go to renovations and additions to Taylor High and middle schools. The money would also be used to purchase land for future school sites. Prop B would generate about $650,000 for instructional materials, staff, and technology. Statewide, there are 17 proposed amendments to the Texas Constitution on the ballot. Propositions were passed by the Texas legislature alongside the state budget earlier this year.
So some of the props being watched closely on your scrutiny include Prop 3, which would lay out certain scenarios for suspects charged with certain crimes like murder, sexual assault, and human trafficking to be denied bail.
Proposition 13 would increase the homestead property tax exemption for school district taxes from $100,000 to $140,000.
Prop 14 would establish the Dementia Prevention and Research Institute of Texas and the Dementia Prevention and Research Fund.
Well, the San Antonio Spurs want to build a new downtown arena.
Yeah, it's part of a larger overall project to redevelop the downtown. Funding for all of that would come from 2 propositions if approved. Prop A would raise the county's hotel occupancy tax to 2%. Prop B would allow Bexar County to use $311 million of the venue tax money to fund the creation of the arena.
Several school districts in Bexar County, including Bernie and Judson, are asking voters to approve tax rate increases to help fund salaries and school operations. After a short break, we're going to take a look at some of the closely watched races going on around the country. Welcome back to Fox 7 Austin's special You Decide coverage.
Now we're going to take a look at some of the key races going on in Texas and all across the country. We'll start here in Houston. Voters will decide who will be the next U.S. representative for Texas's 18th congressional district. This is a special election. The seat was vacant after the death of Sylvester Turner in March. So this is the second special election for the seat since November 2024, when longtime Representative Sheila Jackson Lee passed away. 16 candidates are running. If no candidate surpasses 50%, the top 2 vote getters will advance to a runoff. So the seat is considered to be safely Democratic.
There's also a special election in Tarrant County for State Senate District 9. That district covers North Richland Hills and more than half of Fort Worth. That seat became open after Kelly Hancock resigned in June to become the acting Texas Controller of Public Accounts. 3 people are on the ballot, 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat.
And there's always interest in the New York City mayoral election, this year, though, especially. So the city could elect its first Muslim and first millennial mayor in Zohran Mamdani. Mamdani was the surprise winner of June's Democratic Party mayoral primary and is the polling and fundraising frontrunner leading up to Election Day today. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo lost to Mamdani in the primary, but is now running as an independent. Also running is Republican Curtis Silwa. Current mayor Eric Adams initially ran for re-election, but dropped out last month and now has endorsed Cuomo.
One of the 2 big races for governor is in Virginia. Voters will elect the first female governor of that state, no matter which party wins. Former Democratic Representative Abigail Spanberger has been the leading candidate in the polls for some time against her opponent, Republican Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earl-Sears. But a text controversy involving the Democratic nominee for Attorney General has shaken up the race, with the polls showing Spanberger's lead shrinking.
And New Jersey is also set to choose its next governor. Current Democratic Governor Phil Murphy is term limited in a state where registered Democrats outnumber Republicans. The Republican gubernatorial candidate, who is making his 3rd straight run and nearly beat Murphy 4 years ago, has seemingly narrowed the gap with his Democratic opponent.
The redistricting fight's next battleground is in the state of California. Voters there are deciding whether or not to set aside a popular nonpartisan redistricting commission for the rest of the decade and allow the Democrat-dominated legislature to determine congressional redistricting for the next 3 election cycles. That vote was brought up in California by Governor Gavin Newsom in response to the redrawn congressional maps in Texas, which was signed into law a few months ago. Polls suggest in heavily Democratic California, the majority support passage of the proposal.
In Pennsylvania, a change in the state Supreme Court could happen. Democrats hold a 5-2 majority, but 3 Democratic-leaning judges have completed their 10-year terms and are running this year to keep their seats in yes or no retention elections. Regardless of party, almost all judges have been retained in these types of elections in Pennsylvania. But this year's race has mirrored the high-profile Wisconsin Supreme Court race earlier this year and drawn a lot of money from lobbyists on both sides. And thank you so much for watching our special You Decide coverage. Stay with Fox 7 Austin throughout the day as we bring you all of your Election Day news.
And you can get results and updates on air on fox7austin.com and on our Fox local apps, which are free to download, and you can stream content on your phone and on connected TV apps like Roku and Apple TV.